Hi, everybody. This reading is for air sign twin flame relationships. So if you are a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or if you're dealing with a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, this would be a message for you. We're looking at the month of June right now. This seems like a very frustrating situation for you air signs with your twin flame. There's an energy here of really no communication whatsoever. This looks like somebody has left and you haven't been talking to them at all. You may not know what they're doing or why they're behaving the way that they are. There's an element of anger. There's something being exposed. This feels like someone left, and throughout the month of June, you may be finding out exactly why that is. For you air signs, you also may be finding out that your person is holding back from you and giving to someone else. We have the oracle card at the bottom of the deck that says waiting. And I feel like that really is the overall energy that's also being clarified by ego. So it's very apparent that somebody's ego is really affecting the way the situation is going. The cards are asking me to look over here. So it's showing me that someone has a real issue with dealing with other people outside of the connection, or going back to karmic partners when they have low self-esteem. I feel like the divine feminine is waiting very much for the masculine to show some sort of accountability for his actions. But unfortunately for the air signs, it looks like the masculine is not really in a space to do that this month, because what I'm seeing coming through here is him really realizing that he's missed an opportunity. But rather than make any attempts to fix it, it's like this is almost him being angry or bitter. So my first card talks about the divine feminine and kind of where she was at in the past, along with where the masculine was in the past, and what that built collectively between the two of you. And it looks like you really ended up hurting one another. The feminine was trying very hard to make the connection work, but she was also trying to really focus on her own happiness, because with the judgment in the reverse, she knows the situation isn't over. She's always known the situation isn't over, but this was the energy of feeling like she was doing the same thing over and over and that things weren't changing. So she had to pursue her own happiness. Now we have that clarified by the card that says this just isn't fair, and that's coming out in the reverse. So with these two cards combined, this very much tells me that the feminine in this particular situation got really tired of having to say the same things over and over, and got really tired of feeling like they were doing the same things over and over. So rather than try to continue on with the relationship at this particular time, the feminine energy just removed herself from the situation because she felt like nothing was changing. It was like, why keep talking about the same situations over and over, right? The Knight of Swords is coming out at the bottom for the overall energy of the reading. And this talks about somebody missing an opportunity, but it talks about somebody kind of ghosting the person that they're dealing with. And I feel like this is coming through for both of you. What it looks like here is almost like the masculine ghosted first, and then the feminine kind of followed suit and was just like, I'm not dealing with this. Now, this could have been kind of a conversation that happened over a long period of time, because when you get to the judgment, you're almost towards the end of the cycle, right? But the hard part is there's a decision that's just not being made. And I feel like that's what really delayed the connection from moving forward, because your masculine, for you feminine viewing, they're coming through in the past as the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So they were never able to get the connection to move in any particular direction. They may have treated you like you were a burden. They might have acted like they had so many other things going on. They weren't in a space to be able to give you what you wanted or make you a priority, because the collective energy in the past is coming through as the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, and it's being clarified by the Oracle card Wounded. And so this is literally talking about something that could have been really beautiful. This is something that could have went the distance. For some of you, you were committed to each other and then you separated. But oftentimes this comes out when there's a missed opportunity. So this is kind of like you both being single and coming together and never being able to make that commitment happen. For some of you, though, you were with your masculine and you ended up separating, but that's a smaller group than the people who got so close to having some sort of relationship established just to kind of have it fall apart. Like, you were there, you were doing all the things that couples do, but the title just never quite happened. And I feel like for you feminine, you got really tired of telling your masculine what you needed to feel like they weren't listening. But when you decided to pursue your own happiness, your masculine actually felt incredibly rejected. So this wounded card goes both ways, because the feminine was tired of feeling like, I'm waiting for you to move the situation along. You're wasting my time. I'm giving you the girlfriend experience, but here I am still single. This really hurts. Whereas the masculine, when the feminine got into a space where she's like, you know what, there's nothing you can do to make this fair. I just don't care anymore. I'm going to do something else. That's when he came in and he became incredibly wounded because she didn't keep holding on and she started putting her own happiness over this connection. Now, masculine energy for the past is saying, I didn't realize what I had in the upright, but I want you is also coming out in the reverse. So it's like, even though your person is now kind of realizing what they had, they're still not in a space to be able to express that. There's some bitterness here, you know, and this almost feels like this person, even though they didn't know back then what they had and they treated you like they didn't want you, as they're coming to this realization, they're still not making any moves, right? So moving forward, as we're taking a look, I'm just going to tell you about the energy at the bottom of both of the decks for the twin flames. The feminine energy is coming through as, you need to fix this and I don't trust you anymore. We also have I want to be here, but that's coming out in the reverse, as well as I love you coming out in the reverse, you know? And so the feminine is not only incredibly frustrated and over it, right? Because she doesn't want to be here anymore. But even if she was here, she doesn't trust her masculine and she feels like it's going to be his job to fix this connection. We have nothing is changing in the reverse, but we also have who is that, right? So it's almost like the feminine is now kind of watching the masculine be very bitter and kind of move towards other things in his life. And she's gotten into a space where she knows nothing's changing. So like I said, rather than keep having the same conversation, she's decided to move forward with her life. But that's really made the masculine feel awful, to be quite frank. And he's a little bit bitter because we have I want you in my life coming out in the reverse. But under that, we have I love you, right? And that's coming out upright. So it's really interesting because the masculines for the air signs are very stubborn. This is somebody who knows they love you, but for some reason they don't want you, right? And I think that has to do with them having some real issues that are being triggered because they're trying to work through how to make it right. They feel like they don't deserve you. They're trying to deal with their trust issues. But the thing is, the trust issues didn't come from the feminine. The trust issues came from this karmic over here at the bottom of this oracle deck, where it's showing me that self-esteem and ego is a huge, huge situation in this relationship. And that's based on dealing with a soulmate in the reverse, which is a karmic partner, right? So a lot of the issues that the masculine had for this connection, he got before he even dealt with the feminine energy. And I think that was what was so frustrating for you feminines, because there's nothing you can do to move this along until he works on his issues, right? So moving towards the present, we have the Page of Wands with situationship in the reverse. For my feminine, we have strength, and we have I need you to say it. But what came out with strength was I'm so angry. So feminine energy is completely holding back. The masculine, his energy is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. And it's being clarified by, I don't know how to fix this. And they're not you in the reverse. So there's a little bit of disillusionment. The masculine is kind of going off to see what he can see, because there's an energy here of him being very upset that he is not with his feminine, but he's also not willing to come back. Now, when this High Priestess comes out in the reverse, this talks about wanting to manifest something new, but this talks about being in a place where you've made a decision to possibly be with someone else. And what's interesting about that is it signifies that something's missing in the relationship, okay? And I feel like that's what the masculines are doing, is trying to find a replacement for the feminine, because there's a lot of anger coming through here. And it's interesting because it's on both sides, but it's for totally different reasons, right? So let's pull a clarifier for the Strength card to see what's going on with our feminine present. Yeah, so feminine is upset. You know, masculine could have, if he was off doing whatever because there was no title, it very well could be that he was dealing with other people outside of his feminine. And feminine energy is in a space of, I think you probably wonder what masculine's doing, but for the most part, you don't really give a damn, right? Because you're just so upset with the situation that it's like you had to completely change the way your heart operates. You had to change the way your mind operates. You had to make a totally new plan because the plan was this person, right? But they weren't getting with the program. So now with the Strength card coming out, this is you really having to like check your lust or your temptation or even your love for this person, because in a lot of ways, what this person was doing, it started to feel so toxic to you that you had to leave, right? So there's kind of this internal battle going on in the feminine energy where it's like, I'm trying so hard to focus on everything else. I'm trying to live my best life. But at the same time, there's this underlining energy that I don't even tell other people, where I still am thinking about this person over here and I don't want to be. It's like for you feminine, you keep reminding yourself of all the reasons why this shouldn't be somebody that you deal with or why they made you angry. And that's kind of the fuel that's pushing you away from this person and keeping you from really trying to reach out to your masculine or to even like stick around or see what they have to say. So tell me about the Ace of Pentacles reversed for the masculine energy. Yeah. So masculine is just being so stubborn right now. Like, this is kind of annoying. I think that when your masculine left, because I'm seeing this has been kind of a cycle between the two of you. Like I said, I feel like masculine left first. Feminine probably said something along the lines of, I don't even care anymore, whatever, fine. When masculine was so distant throughout the relationship and even in the distance that you've had before that happened, where the feminine was like, you know what, I just don't care. He was really hoping that in his absence, that would make you chase after him for you feminine. But this has completely changed the dynamic of this relationship. The feminine energy is no longer chasing, right? And so the masculine can run as far as he wants. He was hoping that you would be right there. But in reality, in the time that you were apart, the feminine energy actually flourished and stepped into her own power. And I think that's a huge part of why the masculine is so upset, because the control drama that was being used to kind of keep the feminine in her place is now no longer working. She's found a way to step out of that like kind of box of always being afraid, like, oh, is he coming back or what is he doing? Feminine's gotten into a place where she just doesn't care, and she's consistently reminding herself of all the reasons why she shouldn't care and all the reasons why she should care more about herself, right? And even if there is this sorrow here, I feel like you're not showing it, right? Because to you, you're looking at this person as a lesson for my feminine viewers. And maybe even if you're sad, you're still creating that distance in your heart space between you and this person. Now, for the masculine, they're not taking this very well. That's exactly it. And so they, without their feminine in their life, like, for you air signs, you were this person's compass, right? Like, you were their direction. For some of you, feminine energy, you were one of the only women that gave unconditional love to your masculine in his entire life. Or you reminded him of his parent, like his mother or his grandmother, right? There was something about this energy that gave stability to the masculine side. And now without that knowing I can come back over here, knowing that this person's always waiting, this person is just running wild. Like, they don't have a direction. They don't know what they're doing. More cards that talk about maybe having flings, one night stands, being quite reckless. That's exactly it. Because now, not only do they not really know where they're going, but it's almost like your masculine is very codependent. So he's looking for someone to fill that void that you used to fill for him, which is interesting because I feel like there's been so much distance between the two of you. It's hard to imagine that this person actually looks at you that way, right? Tell me anything else, Hermit. Lots of reflection. Hierophant. So I feel like for you, feminine who are watching, your masculine might be having flings, but this is nothing that he's truly committed to because he's still very stuck on you. You never know it though by the way that he's acting because he's doing everything in his power to reject you. And that's why the collective energy right now is the Page of Wands with situationship coming out in the reverse. This is almost like there's a block between the two of you. Everything feels like it's at a standstill, but it's like nobody's moving forward without one another, but no, you can't move forward together either. And it just feels like this is some kind of Cold War, right? But the reasons behind what you're doing to one another, it's completely different. So tell me anything else about now. Magician. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so for some of you, your masculine is trying really hard to like conjure up an old love or an ex so that they can move forward, because that's that codependent energy moving like through their body, like it's making them restless, and it's almost like it's making them not just restless, but it's like desperate. Like there's desperation coming through here because this person, it's like they don't like that they love you. They don't like that they need you. They don't want to acknowledge the way that they feel about the fact for you feminine that it seems like you really are gone for good. Tell me anything else about this Queen of Pentacles reversed. So this is crazy because it's like they wish that they could have a second chance with you, but they're not even allowing themselves to think of what that would be like or dare to dream if that could happen or if that would work out, right? It's like they feel like they lost the biggest love of their life, but they still are not willing to go after this. I want to take a look at why that is in the extended reading, but your outcome for the rest of the month is the Page of Swords with attraction. So it looks like there's a lot of spying going on, right? Feminine is coming through as I need you to say it. Masculine is coming through as I want to come back in the reverse. What else came out was I don't know how to fix this with the Ace of Pentacles reverse for the present energy, right? And then they're not you. So I feel like masculine, like I said, isn't committing to anyone, but they are out. They're doing all types of stuff, right? I don't know if you heard that huge thunderclap that just happened. So excuse me for that. But it's like they don't know how to fix the relationship, but they also realize they'll never meet another one of their feminine. So they're just stuck. They're so stagnant, right? They're stuck like looking at the past. Feminine, I feel like you're looking at the past, but you're doing it from a different perspective. Tell me about this Page of Swords. 3 of Swords. What's the attraction about? 8 of Wands. Tell me about feminine. Yeah, feminine wants a conversation. Tell me about masculine. So I think masculine will end up being the one to cave, which is interesting because we have I want to come back in the reverse. Tell me about that. What does he see? Oh, come on. All right. So for the masculine, there's kind of this pity party energy wrapped up in bitterness. And this is literally him feeling like you'd be better off with someone else for you feminine watching. And so to them, like, because they're watching you, just so you know, and especially in the next few weeks, they're still feeling that energetic pull towards you. And so they feel like this is done. You're not paying them any mind. You're focused on trying to live your best life. But they don't know how to move forward. So they're kind of peeking in on what you're doing. And they're seeing you feminine really kind of step into your power or do things for yourself. So they're like, oh, okay, well, my feminine's just moved on, right? I just need to let this go. I see it for what it is. She's happy. She's healed. She's looking for her true love. I don't know how to fix this. So I guess I'm just at an impasse. Like, there's just nothing to be done about this. So for the next few weeks, it looks like there's not a whole lot going on. For the extended reading, though, I'm going to kind of take a look at what each of you are wanting, what you're both currently doing, what you will be doing, and how that's going to affect this outcome, because we do have this attraction card. And I'm really curious to see, I mean, what would this be outside of spying? Let's see if we can find out. Yeah, this is literally like over, right? It feels like it's over to both of you. How frustrating, because it's just like this is a dead end, right? But the thing about it is, through this ending, it does look like there's this King of Pentacles. It does look like there's a King of Cups situation. So masculine feels like feminine is looking for that big love. But what seems like is coming to an end, and what's being exposed is all of this controlling, manipulative behavior where your masculine acts like he's so aloof, right? And he just doesn't care, because now we have this King of Pentacles energy coming through. So we're going to take this to the extended, and we're going to figure out, how does the masculine get from this Emperor in the reverse to this King of Pentacles? And what is it that not only happens, but what does he have to bring to the table and really say to his feminine in this Page of Swords discussion, right? If you don't follow me over to the extended reading, you can definitely expect some sort of communication. It could even be your masculine trying to see if it's over. If you don't hear from your masculine, know that he is watching you and he thinks that you're over him, but that may be what moves him forward to start getting it together. So I hope you'll join me in the extended, but if this is where we part ways, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, and I'll speak to all of you again soon. Bye. When I'm tapping into the masculine energy, it's so bizarre where he's coming from. Tell me anything else about this Knight of Swords in the reverse, please. Three of Cups reversed. For some of you, your masculine was unfaithful. For others of you, you just feel like they're never going to come back. You're really tired of being upset over something that didn't work out. You're tired of feeling like you were shut out or the only one fighting for the connection. For a lot of you, it got to the point with this person's behavior when they would do something, it didn't even surprise you anymore, right? So I think for you, this situation has been so disappointing, feminine, that you're ready to move out of that feeling of always feeling bad or feeling like you're the only one that cares. Tell me about the masculine for the Ace of Pentacles, please. Ace of Cups reverse. That's exactly it. It's like right now, he just wants someone. He doesn't seem like he really cares if they love him or not. It's just he wants to kind of show his feminine how little he needs her, right? But that's deception, because when the sun comes out in the reverse, we go back to the energy of the moon. This is him trying to make it seem like he doesn't care, that this isn't working. And the breakup didn't bother him. He's doing just fine. Or him not talking to you isn't a big deal. It's like he's putting on quite a show. And that makes sense because we have this Seven of Swords energy.